Hi, I'm Dr. Tanya English. I am a soul chiropractor, energy healer, coach, and blues singer. I've been in practice of healing for over 35 years, helping people get unstuck so they can achieve their true passions and highest good. I specialize in helping people find treasure in tragedy. We need to start at the beginning, energy. You are a vibrational being. Your body, mind, spirit are these three are not separated until death. So whatever you do to one of them affects the other two. Always has and always will. You're a vibrational being because each cell, molecule, and atom vibrates with electrons moving constantly. A quantum leap is actually a very small movement of an electron from one area of probability to another, and that changes what the atom does and what kind of element it is. You have feelings, and your feelings are creating your physiology. The autonomic nervous system is run by the subconscious. The autonomic nervous system is one of three parts of your nervous system. There's the motor nerves that are controlled by your thoughts. Like I can say, I'm going to move my hand, so I do, and that controls the muscles. That's a thought. Pain is controlled by sensory nerves, and that makes up about 1/9 of your nervous system. And the autonomic nerves are controlling everything else. All your glands, all your organs, everything. And the autonomic nervous system is being run by your subconscious. You don't need to know what your liver's doing. It just runs. So when we look at this and how energy is stuck, the subconscious emotional memory patterns are creating something that's keeping you from being in present time where everything's okay. So let me break this down a little bit. Your subconscious is running your body, and it's running all kinds of things that you do during the day because you've created patterns and they become memorized. So if you're on the way to the grocery store, you're thinking about driving, or you're thinking about what you're going to get at the store. Well, you can think about what you're going to get at the store because driving is this subconscious pattern that's been created. And so now you don't need that much brain power to do the driving, but you do think about other things. So you can think of like your feelings as the soil, and your thought as a seed, and your emotions are what come up out of that soil. So when you have blocks in your ability to reach your goals, it's probably because there's something about that has made you believe, even subconsciously, that it's dangerous in some way for you to achieve that goal. That's a human thing. There's no blame or shame here because that's what humans do. We memorize things with intense emotion, or if it happens chronically, and it becomes a pattern of physiology. We also have a part of ourselves that doesn't want to change because change represents danger. And we have a part of our brain that's always looking for danger. It's a lower brain function to keep us from doing things like getting killed. So I just want to make it clear that there's no fault here. You're a human being. That's the only reason why this is happening. So what can you do to change so that you can achieve the goals that you want? Well, the first thing is you have to acknowledge what the goal is and what feelings that brings up for you. And that means you have to slow down and allow yourself to have feelings, acknowledge the feelings, own the feelings, and honor the feelings. And we're going to do an exercise called emotional freedom technique, or tapping. And this technique is extremely effective at taking you out of fight or flight or freeze and putting you into rest, digest, and heal. These are the two modes the autonomic nervous system runs in. So before we do this exercise, I just want to take you back a little bit. Remember, I just talked about the autonomic nervous system and how it's run by your feelings. It has two modes: rest, digest, and heal. That's the parasympathetic part. And fight, flight, or freeze. That's the sympathetic part. You can only run one of these at a time. And when you're running fight or flight or freeze, it's also known as the stress response. And it can show up in all kinds of ways. Your digestion shuts off. Your immune system shuts off. You don't need those to run away from danger. You get less creative. You don't have good sleep. You can have fatigue. This is if it's going on subconsciously all the time. headaches, muscle aches, especially shoulders and low back, heart palpitations, chest pain. Mentally, you decrease in concentration. So you don't have good memory. You become indecisive. Your mind might be racing or going blank, or you lose your sense of humor. You can feel anxious, nervous, depressed, angry, frustrated. These are all stress responses. You can just be in fear a lot of the time. You could be yelling, blaming, throwing things, nail biting, foot tapping. This is all stress. You can have increased smoking, drinking, and eating. That's to avoid the stress or to somehow quiet it. You're just trying to survive. The stress response is a classic fight or flight response when we experience excessive stress, whether it's internal worry or external circumstances. It's a bodily reaction, it's triggered, and it's hardwired as an early warning system designed to alert us to external environmental threats that pose a danger to our physical survival. When you're in rest, digest, and heal, you can be creative, decisive, have opportunities show up, and have really good communication skills. But I want to show you something about these patterns that happen over and over again, because when you do that, that builds up and can create physical symptoms. So I'm going to show you how that works right now. And one second. So this is a diagram of what happens when we don't deal with the subconscious emotions. Let's say something happens and you're a little kid and you feel guilty. Maybe you stole some candy or something and you feel guilty about it, but you don't tell anybody. And then anxiety starts to creep up about how are they going to find out what's going to happen. And this brings on jealousy. None of this has been addressed yet. So you have this jealousy that's happening and you don't really know what to do with it because you're a little kid. And then because of this, you start to have ridicule happen. See how this is a slippery slope? And at some point here, symptoms are going to show up when you build up enough of these patterns. So it's really important to, especially for kids, to be able to share with them how they can release their emotions. And it's a wonderful thing that we're going to do with the tapping because you can teach that with children too. So what I want to share with you about this is so important because we can actually bring this anxiety down to a dull roar. And I want to do that with you. So before we do this exercise, you should know there are a few contraindications for this. If you have an intense emotional reaction to the words I'm using, simply stop visualizing the scene that triggered the intense emotional reaction and continue to silently tap as you breathe deeply and focus on your breath as it flows in and out. Or you can focus on your feet touching the floor, the chair supporting you as you breathe deeply, and just tap. For others, it'll feel better to physically get up and walk around and walk away from the process, but continue to tap silently. And take full deep breaths. In case you move your body, take a walk, shake it out, swing your arms, intermittently stamp your feet on the ground to feel more grounded. And next, listen to your body's reactions because they may be telling you this is too much to handle on your own. You don't need to do this alone or even all at once. You don't need to do this all by yourself. You can have assistance doing this. So if you're having a really upset time, make sure to reach out to a licensed healthcare provider. And that said, there are a variety of psychological conditions involving significant difficulties regulating emotional states, such that exposure to emotionally intense material can be overwhelming and have significant adverse effects, particularly in individuals who suffer from dissociative disorder, impulse control disorder, panic disorder. They're advised to consult with their licensed healthcare professional before utilizing this technique on its own. And it's contraindicated for people who've been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, acute abuse, substance abuse, or those who continue to be exposed to traumatic experiences they wish to process, such that they're not sufficiently safe in an environment to do that. So please remember to look at the diagram I'm going to put up in a second to help you know what we're doing. So I'm going to put this diagram up so you can see it. And we're not going to use all the points on this screen but we are going to use most of them. So this is the tapping points. The one that we're not going to use is lower here. So we're going to use the underarm one, but we're not going to go lower than that. Just because you don't need to, and it's easier in this little rectangle that I'm in to do that. So it's fine. You don't need to worry about that. You're not going to do it wrong. You can't do this wrong. You can just do it long. So I want you to just remind yourself, let's say you have a big goal that you want to accomplish and you want to think about this. What is the big goal that you want to accomplish? But it doesn't seem like you're able to move forward to it. So I want you to visualize this in your mind. What's the most important thing for you to get done with this goal? And maybe it's in the next couple of weeks. What's the number one thing that if you get this done, it would be the thing that would move you forward the fastest? So when we find ourselves stuck or in action, we can't do anything. It goes against what we consciously say we want. It simply means that there's a side of us that actually is downright refusing. It has a lot of different ways of refusing. It can feel like overwhelm. It can make you get really, really busy, or it can just be you avoiding it at all costs, or it can create a battle, which causes a lot of distractions. But this side is always afraid of something. It's always based on fear. There's something about completing that task that represents something that seems scary and is out of our comfort zone because we're going after a big goal. So today we'll be looking for the side of you and really getting under it and understanding what this side of you is motivated by. What is it afraid of? What is at stake? What is at stake for you? Even if you say it's a simple thing, why don't I get it done? Why don't I pick up the phone? Why don't I just call this person? Why don't I just go to the networking event? Why don't I get this video done? These steps are tasks you need to make. Might sound simple, but for the side of you, there is a lot at stake here. There's a lot on the line. So I really want you to get concrete about this action that you have in mind. So I'm going to give you an example. You can use this with the thing that you need to take care of. So let's say the number one thing you need to do is make a video. And we want to break that down into steps. Step one would be figuring out the content. Figuring out the content of the video. That's step number one. And you get your calendar out and give yourself a time that you're going to spend creating and clarifying the content of the video. Now, you can use this example for any of the things that you're feeling are step one for you. Okay. Secondly, when it comes to the video, let's put on the calendar the day that you're going to make the video, when you're going to do it. Okay. And now on the day before you do that, you map into your calendar how you're going to prepare to make the video, because it's time consuming to make a video. You have to keep testing it. You have to make sure you don't slur your words. You notice I'm not stopping this every time I make a mistake. I'm just keep going on, because it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be able to get the message across. So you put down the date that the day before, what the actual steps are. And now we have those steps mapped out. We put it on the calendar. Now close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Let yourself relax in your chair. I want you to imagine that this is part of the service that I'm doing for you. I'm going to show up at your home or at your office, and I'm going to stand there and make sure you do it. So what's happening in your body right now? What are you feeling? Notice what you're feeling right now when I say, I'm going to make sure that you do this. So sometimes what people feel when they're triggered is, I feel nauseous, I feel scared, I feel sick, this feels bad, I feel awful. pressure in my stomach. I feel nervous and shaky. I feel stressed, and it feels bad. So I want you to close your eyes again, if you had them open, and visualize yourself taking the action. Not the tiny steps that you imagine are actually doing it. If it's a video, you're actually doing the video. You're actually in the conversation. You're actually standing up at the networking event. You're actually talking to the person you need to talk to. Now see how that feels for you. How are people reacting to you? See what people are thinking. What if they don't like me? What if they think I'm a fraud? What if I fail? This means so much to me, and I'm not ready for people to challenge me. So I want you to check in with yourself. And on a scale of number 1 to 10, 1 is not true. This statement I'm going to say is not true. And 10 is it's totally true. And here's the statement. I'm completely stuck. Where are you on this scale? 1 is, no, I'm not stuck. I can do this. It's fine. That's a 1. And 10 is, I can't move. I can't think of this. Now you're seeing how you really feel. There's a lot at risk. We see all these emotions, the fear, the upset, the self-doubt. What if I fail? And because we're so close to the action now, it's getting a little hard to avoid. And what if it actually happens and we're months away from taking the action, or we're weeks away? We don't have to have that level of feeling of what's at stake because it's so far away. But now I'm going to make sure that you do it. I'm going to stand there and watch you. So I want you to tap with me. We're going to start with the eyebrow point. So I want you to take 2 fingers and tap on that inside corner of the eyebrow. And then we're going to go down under the arm. So you can do this when you go under the arm, and then back to the top of the head. So you can repeat after me. If I say words that are too triggering, just stop. Just tap, and breathe, or get up and walk away. But if I use words that aren't true to you, but you have another word, put your word in there. That's fine. So right here, repeat after me. What if people don't like it? Go to the side of the eye. What if I look like a fraud? Under the eye. What if I fail? Under the nose. This means so much to me. Under the collarbone here, under the lips. I mean, this means so much to me. And it's okay to repeat. You can repeat anything you want. This means so much to me. Under the collarbone. What if I'm not ready and people challenge me? Under the arm. What if it goes badly? Top of the head. And you could do 1 hand, 2 hands, doesn't matter. One side of the face, both sides, doesn't matter. What if I look stupid? What if people don't like it? What if they look at me skeptically? Under the eyes. What if they get angry? Under the nose. What if they're shocked? What if they're thinking, who does she think she is? Under the collarbone. I'm sure that's what someone will say. And that makes me feel worried. Top of the head. I have my own doubts about myself. And I'm doing the best I can. Side of the eye. But what if it's not good enough? Under the eye. What if I do my best? Under the nose and I still fail? Under the lips and no one cares? Under the collarbone and nothing happens? This would be so devastating, so disappointing. What if? Now I want you to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and see how that feels. And check the statement again. I am completely stuck. Now, if you were higher than a 1 before, did that change for you? Did it come lower? Maybe it came higher because sometimes this kind of stirs things up. So I want you to look at this again. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, see yourself there, taking action again. You're doing it again. You're taking that action. You're making sure it happens. But I want you to look at this pattern that is showing you. Maybe it's a rebellion pattern. I hate doing this. See yourself there taking action. Now I want you to rewind the movie a little bit. Come all the way back to the little actions we mapped out for you to take. See yourself sitting in your home or your office, taking just one of those steps, the first phone call. What do you see there? What do you see? It might be I hate writing, or I'm not good at technology, or it's okay. We're going to do some tapping on that. But I just want you to tune in. This is the part where you have to slow yourself down and feel your feelings and just acknowledge them. So this is a really rebellious part, okay? And this is okay for you to do. And you can use my name if you want. Start on your eyebrow right here. You can't make me do it. Side of the eye. I don't want to do it. Under the eye. I'm actually refusing to do it. Under the nose. You can't tell me what to do. Dr. Tanya, you can't tell me. Under the lips. You can't make me. Under the collarbone. I actually refuse to do this. Under the arm. Screw you. I'm not doing this. Top of the head. I might tell you I will, but I won't. And eyebrows again. Ha, ha, you can't make me do it. Take a deep breath. Yeah, isn't that fun? The truth is you don't have to do it. The truth is everything we said in tapping is true. It's all true. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything. So just for a minute, I want you to give yourself a complete permission to never, ever do it. Just never, ever do it. To never put yourself out there, to not go after your dream, because the reality is you don't have to. You can go on living your life, and sometimes people do. They decide, I don't actually want this bad enough. And that's completely okay. That is completely okay. So just breathe that in for a minute. What I have is enough. I don't really want this that bad. And that's okay. Now, the truth is you don't have to do anything, but you have to decide what you want and what's at stake for you to not do this. To allow yourself to move forward is a big step in and of itself. So what do you really want? If you walk away, you've made a real conscious choice. Instead of living out your dreams, you're creating a new space for yourself. The space of I have to do it, which is a great recipe for never getting anything done and never really being happy, because the fear of not doing it is keeping you in that limbo. So if you re-choose your goal, I want you to ask yourself, how are you going to feel? Why? What is it going to be like? If you imagine yourself having done it, you're on the other side of it. Can you celebrate it? So I want you to see yourself doing this. For the last part of our session today, I want you to go ahead and close your eyes. Go ahead and close your eyes and just imagine yourself. Take a deep breath into your body. And I want you to ask yourself, fast forward into the future. You have completely taken this step. You've completely done it. And I want you to imagine the look on your face when you realize, I've done it. I've done what I set out to do. How proud you're going to feel. And I want you to imagine that someone that you really care about in your life comes forward and says, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. This is awesome. What you've done is fantastic. They high five you. They give you hugs. Just imagine in your body right now how good that will feel. And let yourself celebrate it and say, I did it. Because you pushed through that fear, you pushed through that wall, you allowed it to dissolve and fall so that you could walk through and complete this very important goal for yourself. So I always want you to look at that. What's the future look like when I complete this? And have that there for yourself, ready to celebrate when you do it. Wow, I just did it. I just did what I set out to do. And I'm feeling like I'm on my way. This is happening. I'm happening. I'm doing the hard thing. I'm a badass. And just allow yourself to enjoy that feeling. Because you need to celebrate your wins. And even the little steps that you came up with to get to that big one is really important to celebrate. Give yourself a hug, pat yourself on the back, give yourself a prize. We love games. Make it a game. Have a prize for each step that you get done. That's a great way to do it. And it gives you so much to look forward to, too. So honor yourself, honor your courage, honor your hard work, celebrate your wins, and know that this is what is in store for you when you go ahead and do that thing that you can't seem to get through. But now you can. You can allow yourself to do it. So good for you. You're going to do a great job. I'm looking forward to it. And I want to hear about your wins. So feel free to message me as you go through this. And if you need more assistance, I'm here for that too. Much love, many blessings. Have a wonderful day.